2,785 kilometres over 8 days. We're covering 3 states through the outback of Australia, ticking off iconic locations. Starting at Broken Hill and then into the Flinders Ranges, up the Birdsville track, back east to Betoota Pub, down to the Strzelecki track to Inaminka and back to Broken Hill. The Flinders Ranges have a unique, striking landscape that sets them apart from the rest of Australia. They have some of the oldest mountains in the world, formed over 600 million years ago. Dramatic gorges, rugged peaks, rolling hills, and the region's vivid red and orange hues come from the iron-rich sedimentary rocks. Today we're riding through some of the country's most stunning landscapes, heading north to Blenheim for lunch and then following the old train lines to the Farina ghost town before finishing off in Maree, the crossroads of the Unadilla and Birdsville tracks.
Sun's just coming up in Hawker. It is day 3. Today we're going to Maree, which 344 kilometres today, half sealed versus dirt. Tonight I imagine is decision time, whether we end up heading up towards Birdsville or west further into South Australia. So either way it'd be good. I think it'd be enjoyable regardless, but we'll see what happens. It's looking pretty good to do the original route. It is 3 degrees this morning, a high of 13, I think it was, 13 and 14, so not a super warm day. So I opted for the thermals today. These are actually ADV Works ones from Adventure Moto, so I thought I'd give them a try. I wore them last weekend skiing and they were really good, so really comfortable as well, not bleh and itchy and shit, like they're actually really nice. So we'll see what they're like on the bike today. General store in Hawker opening up for us nice and early. We sent through all our requests of bacon, egg rolls and coffee yesterday, so they're pre-making everything for us, and they're going to open up early for us.
Each day we progress further, deeper and deeper into the outback. We got to see the beautiful Flinders Ranges. That was probably, if I think about a highlight of the trip, definitely Flinders Ranges. It's an adventure rider's heaven out there.
It's been a one cracker trip. I mean, no, I think the Flinders Ranges would be the highlight. That was just absolutely spectacular.
How's that? Straight from the hotel, straight into the dirt.
What caught my eye was how different the landscape was. The pine trees created an almost foreign look compared to what you'd see almost anywhere else in Australia. This day was one of the highlights for most of us, although for one of us, it would mean an early retirement from mechanical failure.
I've got a feeling today is going to be one of those days where I can never decide when to turn the camera off. Actually, Shane summarised this event perfectly this morning. He said it's a highlights package for adventure riding the outback. We touch on all the best bits, get a highlight of what it's like. It's a fun road to ride, and it's absolutely stunning at the same time. And it's nice and open, you can see if anyone's coming, and so you can open it up a little bit safely, knowing sort of there's not someone just around the corner. It's enjoyable. And I know a lot of people don't like that. I know a lot of people prefer it to be technical and tricky, but I think when you're out here and the scenery's kind of the highlight, the road being enjoyable but predictable is much better, personally, in my humble opinion. This is what I enjoy. Wow, this is awesome. Look at that. That is stunning. Look at that. Wow. One of the missions of this trip is to basically a bit of a recon for the family trips. This is most definitely on the list.
Stop at the Razorback Lookout. If you're ever going to the Flinders Ranges, make sure you have this on your list. It is stunning.
Alright, back to the summer gloves. Does this road drop off a cliff on the other side? I could see it actually goes pretty straight from what other people were doing. Sitting at the Gold Coast, I made a claim about a rainforest we went through, you know, almost by accident, unintendedly, and I said that was one of the most stunning rides I've ever been on. Yeah, that's nothing by comparison to this. There are other amazing roads in the Flinders Ranges, of course, that are difficult to get to, Skytrack and so on. And it would be amazing to visit those, but it's roads like this that's accessible to everyone regardless of their skill set. You can go and get an adventure bike and ride a road like this without needing years of experience. That's what makes this road particularly great. You don't need to be Chris Birch to get there. By the way, I make a lot of references to Chris Birch. It's out of admiration. I say it because arguably the pinnacle of skill sets when it comes to adventure riding. the creek beds. Such a dynamic landscape, isn't it? Just shifts and changes. Keeps you on your toes.
How beautiful is this?
So good.
Well, I'll just wait here until we get Sarah. Get back. You don't have to wait. Oh no,
Oh, Paul, that's shit, mate. I'm sorry.
It is shit. You're right. But that's okay. That's fucking that shit happens. You know. So usually a rubber mount and a bolt. Yeah, the back hit it, and I reckon it's pushed the stud up into the case.
Right.
Yeah. So the back two are rubber mounted, but the front two are hard mounted. Yeah. Notice that my back wheel was a bit slippery. I'm like, it doesn't seem like the gravel's that slippery. And then heard it going. It doesn't sound right.
Oh, well, sorry, mate. That's a bastard.
He's a bastard. Get it into Maree tonight. See if there's any way I can patch it so I can limp home.
I've got some of that metal cement thingy stuff.
Yeah, I've got some with me as well.
You got some as well? Okay, cool.
But I may need more.
Yeah.
So thanks. Yeah, really.
You got a copy, Alex or Shane?
Oh, he's coming back.
We're going to need the trailer, minimum.
All right.
Okay.
Copy.
We'll see you up there.
Oh, that sucks. Sounds like just carrying a little too much momentum and smack the bottom. Oh, watch out for the car coming back the other direction, of course. That little thing in his head going, oh, if only I had gone just that little bit slower on that. But you don't know what you don't know. You know, everyone else passed through it at the same speed. It just was the wrong angles, the wrong speed, the wrong everything that just happened to all land in one spot. You can't overthink these things, and you can't think, oh no, I shouldn't have done this, shouldn't have done that. You take what you can as a learning from it and go, okay, is there a little tweak to the way I ride I need to consider? And then you park it, and then you forget about it. Because if you start thinking about every single little thing like that, every single little should have, could have, would have, you'd never go out on these bloody things. You know, adventure riding has risk in it. If it didn't, it wouldn't be called adventure riding, it'd just be called riding. So there's always going to be an element of risk, which means there's always going to be an element of regret. That's it, as much as you can.
Paul did manage to make enough of a repair to head back down south, but unfortunately couldn't continue with the event. We continued through the Flinders Ranges, stopping at Blenman for lunch. It's a nice little country town that captures the area's history, and the bakery offers amazing sausage rolls and pies, the perfect lunch for an adventure riding. With our group being half the size of the town's complete population, it felt a little like Toe Cutter's gang had just rolled in. After lunch, we continue to head north towards Maree through some of the most beautiful winding roads to a distinctive end to the Flinders Ranges as the plains opened up in front of us. Continued to avoid the sealed roads and travelled through the dry creek beds and rocky paths that parallel the old train lines. We're riding alongside the original Ghan Railway route, dropping in and out of the constant riverbeds.
Just such a contrast from moments ago sitting on 100 k's an hour on dead straight road, firm as it can be, and then next thing you're in this shit. You know where you want me to say it. You want me to say it, don't you? Dead center of town.
The construction of the Great Northern Railway began from Port Augusta in the late 19th century. While it was intended to go through to Darwin, it ran through the Flinders Ranges in towns like Hawker, Balanta and Farina, but never actually made it past Alice Springs.
Don't look at the big rock.
Eventually, the narrow gauge line became inefficient, and from the 1950s through to the 70s, many of these lines were bypassed with modern standard gauge. The last train ran through this way in 1981. Passing through Lyndhurst, which would be the exit to the Strzelecki track.
Lyndhurst, the Strzelecki track.
Sitting within the arid Lake Eyre Basin, Farina is a ghost town. On the 21st of March 1878, during the wet years of the 1880s, optimistic plans were laid out for a town after several silver and copper mines opened up in the surrounding areas, and in its peak the population grew to 600 in the late 19th century. The town had 2 hotels, an underground bakery, a bank, a brewery, a general store, a church, 5 blacksmiths, a school and a brothel. What more do you need? Well, more than that, because this is all that remains. However, the bakery opens up for a couple of weeks once a year and is manned by a team of volunteers, and the baker is the only person who gets paid. The 2006 census showed that 55 people lived in the larger area, but by 2021 the population had fallen to 15. It was a nice stroll into Maree in the afternoon, making good time throughout the day. The approach to the town was as flat as you can imagine, and you could actually see it up to 10 kilometres away.
There's a helicopter going back and forth. I wasn't going insane. I wasn't seeing things.
The roads leading to Birdsville and through to Inaminka were open, so the original route for the next couple of days at least would continue. Formerly Hergot Springs, Maree is 589 kilometres north of Adelaide and is the crossroads to the Oodnadatta and Birdsville tracks. We then had to fill up to take on the Birdsville track the next day, but with only one pump in town filling up all 25 bikes, it took a while.
That kangaroo.
Yeah. Bastard. I only caught that because I got with that visor, it's full of dust.
Yeah.
I only caught in the last 4 hops. I thought I ain't gonna fucking stop now.
No.
Yeah, too bad, but
From behind it looked close.
I've got to say another second fill of the road, it would have been a different story. It just caught him.
Sweet home, huh? Let's check this room out. It's not bad, nice and clean. I mean, all things considered. It's no luxury hotel, of course. It's nice and clean. Good sized bathroom. What's this go? Lights in there. Yeah. Big screen TV. Nice.
A little highlight for me was watching the sunset from Maree. After a lifetime of watching it set over the mountains, hills and beaches, there was something unusual and significant about watching the sunset over nothing. The next morning we would set off at sunrise to take on the 517 kilometres of the Birdsville track. Unfortunately, this day would turn out to be a tough one.
I think that was Pardo. What was that? We had a crash. Fuck. I'm just going to turn the camera off till I find out what's going on.